Hey guys, Brian here from 5 to Go, and I am back with Ben from Catalyst Connected Living. He is our resident electrical and internet and install and tools and customizing your RV. I mean, his RV is right there. It's the big, huge custom one that you've seen on the channel before. Yeah, back with Ben, and we are looking at another Epic battery. And this one it looks the same, right? It looks the same as the 460 from last year, but it's actually quite a bit different in some very significant ways. So this is actually the Epic Batteries 460 V2 Elite. Now, the one we looked at last year was just the 460. This one is now replaced that 460 from last year, and it has some new features, like it can now go up to 16 batteries in one bank. The previous one was 4, and that's because of the BMS.
Yes,
right?
The internal computer, as you want to call it, that controls and communicates all of the information inside the battery, keeping everything safe.
Yeah. So something in here, so there's a bunch of dip switches on the top here that you can set this one as a master and others as slaves, and there's a whole section in the instruction manual that shows you how to do that. So that is one really nice advancement here with this V2 Elite, because the previous one only being able to go to 4, I know that seems like a lot because that's 4 times 460, that's a lot.
Almost as much as I have in my RV.
Yeah, with his huge custom battery over there. But 4, we know people wanted more, so they have allowed people to have more. They have also upgraded the Victron communications. Another thing that they upgraded was the gauge, which is this guy here. So in the previous model, the gauge was just a little, like it was like 10.
Yeah, it was like rectangular and it had like just 10 bars.
Yeah, so this one, much nicer. It actually shows you the state of charge. It shows you the current voltage and then whatever draw is, or whatever current is coming out of the battery at the moment. So that is nice. And another thing that they changed, and initially when we were talking a few minutes ago, we were like, why did they do that? And then we thought for a second and we're like, oh. So in the previous version, you would connect directly to the battery via Bluetooth on your phone and use their app to see state of charge and the cell balance and all of that good stuff. What they did with this one, they moved the Bluetooth communication hardware chip or whatever into the gauge. And initially I was like, why would you do that? Like, because when I install this in this rig, I'm not going to be using the gauge. I'm not running the gauge inside. Like I'm doing something else. I'm not going to use the gauge that they send with it. But now I have to have it plugged in for the Bluetooth connection, even if I'm not going to use it. So that was my initial, like, why would they do this? But then what I remembered is in the previous battery, you had to be like right next to it in order to get the Bluetooth to connect. It was not a great Bluetooth radio. So
in the motorhome.
Yeah. Oh, in the motorhome, it was even. So over here in this one, yeah, we all live in like a compound now. So this is my old RV. This has the older Epic batteries in it. And in order to connect to the Bluetooth and the batteries on that one, I literally had to go outside, open the bay door, and stand right next to the batteries in order to communicate, or in order to connect my phone to those batteries. So with the Bluetooth radio being in this gauge, I can actually run this anywhere in my RV, like up into a communications bay. I can just run it up underneath my bed. Like I'm basically moving the radio for the Bluetooth, and I can connect to it from anywhere. I don't have to go outside. I don't have to worry about a weak Bluetooth radio. It's in the gauge. I can put it where I want. So that's a huge upgrade. Yeah. So even though I'm not going to be using the gauge itself, I am going to run that gauge out of this bay here because it's going to be installed in this front bay here. I'm going to run that gauge up into my bedroom so that Bluetooth radio is inside and much more usable. So I like that a lot. The power button has been upgraded. This one, I like it. It's actually illuminated green and it has a nice waterproof cover on it. Again, this is IP67 water and dust proof. It has all the same connections as before. This little outlet here is to connect a remote power switch. And then on the other side over here, we have the gauge and Victron communication connection points. And then of course on top, we've got the positive and negative terminals because it's a battery. And what kind of battery would it be without positive and negative terminals?
True.
Oh, we forgot the most important part. So last year, this thing was $2,000. Right now, this is $1,800. And if you go to their website now, through the link here, 5togo.com/epic, they are also running a 10% off sale with a code that's scrolling across the top. I believe it's USA 10. So $200 cheaper and 10% off. And it has a bunch more stuff in it. They should actually be calling this one the game changer.
Yeah.
But somebody else is using that.
I wonder who. By the way, I think they've made like one change to that particular one.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, and it wasn't even a good change, was it?
No, it's still really big, uses tons of space, and has the same capacity.
And way overpriced.
Yeah.
Way overpriced. So we're talking about Battleborn. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This is the actual game changer in the battery industry right now, not whatever it is the blue guys are doing. So go check out Epic, 5togo.com/epic. Check out this battery. This thing is amazing. Ben and I are going to be installing several 460s into my new fifth wheel soon. Don't know when, but it'll be soon. They're all sitting in the Jeep right there. So we'll get to that. That will be a future video. We'll show you the install of that. I think there's going to be a couple phases. I think phase 1 is just installing the batteries with the existing hardware. Phase 2 will be a full Victron conversion. And then phase 3 might be solar and some other goodies. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. If you are in and around Central Florida and you need stuff done to your RV, that's your guy right there, Catalyst Connected Living. So check the links down in the description down below. Ben can help you out because we basically live in Central Florida full time now.
Yep.
And we're neighbors. Again, that's his rig right there. So if you need something done, let him know. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.